Today we're making tacos out of this. What kind of tacos are we making?
We're gonna make Birria Tacos. Oh yeah.
I love me some brie.
Aw, thank you, babe.
Yo, Tyson, how about tossing me one of those Thor's hammers, baby?
Got it, Brad. Coming in hot.
Wow. Yeah, let's go. All right, guys, we got our beef shank here. Also sometimes is called a soup bone?
A
cushy soup bone. We like to call it a Thor's hammer, baby. So probably one of the coolest cuts of meat to cook. It just looks just badass on a smoker or a grill. And Bree's gonna tell you a little bit more about this particular one.
Absolutely. So we got our Thor's hammer, let's call it that, it's more fun, at the Uppercut KC out in Liberty.
Look them up, guys. They have just some awesome meats there. Their butchers are top notch. This thing was fresh butchered for us yesterday. Can't beat that.
They're not expensive either. I think this being a cushy, which is, if you've heard of Wagyu, it's similar to that. It's meaning that there's a higher fat content inside the muscle here of this beef. So they're typically a little bit more expensive. Like if you've ever gone to buy a Wagyu brisket, it costs more than a choice or a prime brisket, same thing. This piece here is about a little over 4.5 pounds and was like 40 bucks. So not super expensive. This is gonna feed quite a few people.
So tell me something about this. Like, where does the Thor's hammer come from?
The Thor's hammer comes from the leg of the cow, specifically the area, like if you're thinking of our anatomy, of our, like our quads, like thigh legs, the thigh parts, right? That part of the muscle is one of the working muscles in the legs. It is a leaner cut of meat, which makes it perfect for lower and slower or braising. It's a perfect cut for that.
Well, they say this is lean, but this akushi,
there's a lot of marbling in it.
look
Turn
at that.
it around.
Just look at that marbling in there.
Yeah. When we called up to Uppercut and asked Tyson to hook us up with our Thor's hammer or beef shank, this is exactly the way they trimmed it out for us. They also did the butcher twine already, so it comes completely like this, ready to go, which is awesome. So we're gonna season it up today. We're really gonna let the beef speak for itself. Anytime you've got a cut like this, pretty much your salt, pepper, garlic are your basic staples of that, no matter what type of meat you're doing. Today we're gonna use some of Melissa Cookson's, her Grillin' and Shake Ultimate Dry Rub here. It's got salt, pepper, garlic, and a little bit of green pepper in it. I love that. I'm gonna season pretty heavy. This is a chunk of beef, and beef can handle a heavier seasoning on it. So I'm gonna go pretty heavy on it. Don't want any bland beef here. Hey babe, will you hold that right there so I can get this side?
Just be the rotisserie for you.
Yeah, that's perfect. Love it. Need to have one of these all the time.
Finally found something I'm good at. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record player, right round, right round. You can get the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Let's get the bottom. Bottoms up, baby.
You know what? Hammer time. Done.
Break it down now. Okay. How do we look? Does it look
Looks like you made a mess is what it looks like.
Hey, I'm just trying to keep up with you.
That's pretty hard to do, baby. So we're going to set this in a pan for today. We want to catch some of that drippings off of that. Never know, I might want to use them in the braising stage. We're going to see what this one comes out. It's only the second time we've cooked one. The first one we did was absolutely stellar, so I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah.
So we're going to let this, sweat up for about 20 minutes. We got the Hooray smoke box back here fired up. We're going to get that up to about 300, 325, and then here in about 10, 20 minutes, we'll put this on and let her start
You
cooking.
want to make sure that it is room temperature and that the rubs look wet. That's what he means by sweating. So that's what we're going to wait on.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, it's getting close to our braising time. We've got Meat Rushmore brisket mop that we're going to use today. The great part about this is it's super simple. You're going to pour an entire bottle you're gonna take 1 can of beef consomme, pour that in, and then we're just gonna whisk it up together.
Come whisk away, come whisk away, come whisk away.
Okay, and then, ta-da, your braise is done. So it's as easy as that.
Here in just a few minutes, we're gonna pull this thing off and get this amazing concoction added to it. Stay tuned. All right, guys, it's time to get this thing off of the hurtado. Look at that. Got to give it a whistle when it's that pretty. That hammer is looking like $1 million. So we're gonna set that right in the middle. And what I have is I have 2 foil pans stacked in top of each other, and then got my foil kind of laid crisscross.
And
So-
you don't stop. Sorry. That's what I thought of when you said it.
All right, well, see, she's even got jokes. 1 stick of real butter is going to go in. Going to add a little help to that braise. You remember that beautiful meat Rushmore brisket wrap mixed with consomme. We're going to pour this in. Oh, that's going to be so good. So the reason that we have the foil pans and then lined with aluminum foil, the aluminum foil is there to kind of capture everything. But if this bone happens to pop through the bottom of this foil, that pan's going to catch the rest of it and we don't lose our au jus.
You want the liquid to be about halfway up on your Thor's hammer, beef shank, whatever you want to call it.
So we're going to wrap this shank up. The key to this is get this foil in there tight with it. You don't want any air if you can help it.
We want it to braise and not just steam.
So we're going back on, and we'll put a probe in this, and we're gonna take this till it's about 212 degrees internal temp, and she should shred like butter. Okay, so this thing is done. It hit about 211, 212 was about where we're looking to get it. So let's unwrap it. It's like Christmas morning, guys. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna tell you, it smells so good here in the studio.
Ooh-wee.
Now, so we know, look how she shrunk up. So that's pretty common. It's going to shrink up like that.
Especially with the amount of fat that was in it, since it's the akushi.
Mm-hmm. Give me a pair of scissors. I got to cut that twine.
2, 3, and 4. Make sure that I have all 4. Can you spin it, baby? Spin me right round. There we go.
So I'm going to set this off to the side real quick. We're going to get this juice in the bottom of this pan. So we do not want to lose that, because that's where the good stuff is.
That's the liquid gold, baby.
Let's set it back in there. Now comes the fun part. You're just going to pull it apart and smash it up. And so we're going to leave this in here, and we're going to let it braise for probably another couple hours, and then we're going to have some fantastic tacos.
Max is excited about this bone, let me tell you.
All right, guys, so cover it up. We're going to let it braise. We'll go from there. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, so the case of Birria tacos that we made with a Thor's hammer, an American Wagyu Thor's hammer, no less. It's finally done braising. We've got it shredded up perfectly. And look at all, I mean, it soaked up a lot of that juice and this stuff. I've had a couple samples, not gonna lie. It's pretty damn good. What do you think? I've caught you sampling in the cookie jar a little bit.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to eat, something I grew up eating.
So why don't you tell them what we have here, and then we'll get to building one. We'll show you how we build this, and then don't think we have to show you how we eat it. So.
All right, so Brad's already talked to you about the meat. So traditional with Birria tacos, traditionally is made with goat meat. It's also very common with any kind of a shredded beef. So you could do it with brisket, or you could do it with like a roast. You could do it like we're doing it here with like the beef shank. Then next, you need your corn tortillas. We have some Birria taco tortillas here. We have our Oaxaca Mexican melting cheese, and also our queso fresco, and then a little bit of cilantro cut up. So what's really awesome about these Birria tacos, is that they're really simple.
And you can make them however you want.
100%.
If you don't want onions on them, don't put onions on them.
Yeah, if you want some onions, you want some jalapenos, you can do just about anything. Now, traditional is going to be have an adobo sauce with that, with some peppers in here. We didn't do any of that today. We just kind of kept it simple. Now's the fun part.
All right. Let's be like Bob and be the builder. Let's go. So first, I'm going to take this tortilla and I'm going to set it down. I'm going to get some of that juice on it. Don't need a whole lot. Just want it to help it crisp. Then you throw it on there. After I do that, take a little pinch. A little goes a long way on this. You don't need a lot of meat. Got to save some for other people. Brie's going to add a little bit of our cheese.
All right, we're going to start with our Oaxaca melting cheese. Put some of that in there. Okay, let's be real. I'm going to put a lot of that in there. Then we're going to do some queso fresco. A little bit more over the top. Because who doesn't love cheese? We're going to do a little bit of cilantro. I love cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you don't have to have it in there.
All right, so now that we've got those done, you don't have to do this step at home, but I like to throw a little dome over and help that cheese cook in a little bit. Now, not everybody's going to have a flat top. If you have a Blackstone home, that works perfect, or any kind of flat top. We happen to be fortunate enough that we have a Hooray Hurtado smoke box here that has a griddle attachment that can be put in there, and we absolutely love cooking on this griddle attachment. It is so much fun to say I'm cooking on a flat top over charcoal. Okay, didn't take very long. So now we're just going to take this, flip her over, make them into a little taco.
So basically what we're looking for right now is we are looking for the tortillas to get crispy.
Like I said, you don't have to use the dome. I like it. It kind of helps with a little convection in there, and I think it helps cook more even. Time to give them a flip. Now you can see I got that browning. They're getting crispy. It's exactly what we want. You won't find this at Taco Bell. All right. One for her, one for him.
All right, so we've got our Birria Tacos built here. Oh my gosh, they look so delicious. We have some of the birria au jus that we can dip in. Oh, it's so good. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's
I'm ready.
do it.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah. Say cheers.
I'll get in for. Oh yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Wow, that is just so rich. I'll tell you what, the beef shank is probably some of the richest meat I've ever had.
It's very, very rich, but it also mimics the goat. Goat is really rich too. So,
Well, and then we did something that I've not seen a lot of people do with this, and I'm not saying it hasn't been done, but there's that new product out here, that Meat Rushmore brisket mop that they have. That stuff is dynamite. There's several people out there doing these, and they're all really good. Meat Rushmore is good friends of ours. We want to try their product on this. It did exactly what I thought it'd do, and
it's really good.
knocked it out of the park.
100%.
And Max is a happy dog. We gave him a big old bone to chew on.
He got the shank bone, and he's still working on it.
If you guys like this, think you might like it, go check out our YouTube.
Oh, I gotta get me another one.
Check out our YouTube, subscribe to it, give us a like, give us a follow. We'll keep putting this
You
stuff
just
out.
keep talking. I'm gonna keep eating.
God, it's so good. So, see you guys on the next one. How about tossing me one of those Thor's hammers, baby? Oh, damn. Do another shot. Whoa.
Sorry, that was my fault.
I'm trying to grab that handle.
You're not gonna.
I'm close.